electronics from the most extreme wrestling, and this is your AEW Dynamite review for June 3rd, 2020. AEW starting off the night with a Black Lives Matter video. In case you didn't know or you needed to hear it, Black Lives Matter. Now, let's get to this show. There is a recap of last week. There was a lot of things going on last week as it pertains to Mike Tyson, the TNT tournament. Oh, and we got a lot of following up to do from last week. First off, it is the Tag Team Championships. They're being defended here tonight. It is Hangman Page and Kenny Omega, the Tag Team Champions, defending their titles against Sabian with Ford and Havoc. Old Jimmy Havoc over there. Now, he can't be bringing out his staple gun anymore. He's been banned from that, and I guess promises is promises, so we're going to see what's going to happen. But the titles are on the line, so there is a lot riding on this match. We're talking about some serious gold going on here. It doesn't take too long for Ford to get ejected. This lady always be getting ejected. I don't understand what's going on here. I mean, even the commentators were sad to see her go. She's just got to find a better way to make sure she can stay. All right? Anyways, after this distraction, while the referee is still distracted, it actually goes in the favor of this team because Havoc takes advantage. He's got a wrench, okay? He hits a man with a wrench in his hand, but this is not enough to win the match. I mean, come on. He got hit with a crescent wrench. This hurts. This hurts real bad. So, wrestling moves can't beat you half the time. A wrench to the head can't beat you. What can? Well, at one point, he comes running in with a freaking hacksaw. I mean, seriously? He could have severed someone's limbs going on here. But he doesn't get to use it, thankfully, because that would have been a bloodbath. But, Hangman Page and Kenny Omega, they don't come out together. They have a lot of problems. Although recently they've been drinking together and seemingly have been getting along a lot better for whatever reason. I have no idea. But they had their head in the game on this one because they were able to hit that buckshot lariat V-trigger combination, and boom, still, to no surprise of anyone, that Kenny Omega and Hangman Page are still the Tag Team Champions here in AEW. So, these guys, and no one thought they were going to lose, but at Fyter Fest, it's going to be Best Friends taking on Hangman Page and Kenny Omega, and that's coming up pretty soon, actually. I think that's happening in 2 different weeks in early July. Next up, we see Tully Blanchard. The last time I recall seeing anything significant with Tully Blanchard, he was in the center of the crotchal region on the underwear of Shawn Spears. But here, this little prick is looking a little different. He's a little hot and heated, and he's red, man. He is yelling. He is angry because he feels like Shawn Spears doesn't have enough heart, and he doesn't have enough desire. And Shawn Spears is just listening and taking it. Then Tully, he is saying that the search for Spears is over. So that was another storyline that they're just chunking out the window and saying, hey, we're done with this. We're not going to deal with that. The whole tag team thing. I mean, come on, dude. Let's think about this. We just saw a match with Sabian and Havoc together as a legitimate tag team. And, yeah, you probably should just move on and do something else. So then we see Tully Blanchard. He's bringing Shawn Spears into a limo. And he's got a box. What's the box for? Apparently it's a gift. It's not a wrapped gift. It's just in a box. And he opens it, and Shawn Spears pulls out a glove, puts on the glove, and am I supposed to know what that symbolizes? Am I supposed to know what that means? The man pulled a box. Not like a cardboard box, but like maybe something you'd have some gear in. It's like a hard box. that you would buy and put stuff in. And he opens it, and it's got a glove. He puts on the glove. What does that mean? What is he going to do with the glove? I'm sure that there's some kind of explanation that I'm supposed to just know, but the commentators didn't seem to know. I didn't seem to know. Probably a problem. I watch every single week and I don't know what the hell's going on. I think that's a problem. Maybe I just got to watch the pre-show and the YouTube series of every single wrestler, and maybe I would figure it out. But, yeah. There's other things going on. And, yeah, I missed that one, apparently. Okay. Brian Cage with Taz is taking on Shawn Dean. And if you don't know who Shawn Dean is, well, yeah, it's not going to be that important for this match. Who can stop the path of Cage? Not Shawn Dean. Because Shawn Dean gets a beat. And Brian Cage is on the path to victory here with Taz and moving on with his life. Taz gets on the microphone. Just feels like the last time he got on the microphone. He's talking about Moxley. He's upset that Moxley was smirking and smiling at him. And Taz is this very serious man. Then Moxley shows up after Taz uses his own catchphrase to get Brian Cage over, which I've talked about this already, but really they're just going to keep doing this. Imagine if Stone Cold was somebody's manager, which that would never happen, but just imagine. And this wrestler, he's here. You know, he's new to the audience that he's in front of, the AEW audience. And he finishes his lines with, "'Cause Stone Cold said so." You'd be like, yeah, I saw that before, and it was better way back when. Now, it's been there, done that, seen that, okay? But AEW apparently doesn't think so, because they're continuing to do it. And I'm going to continue to complain about it. And Moxley shows up, he reminds us that, well, he's serious, and he's got the title, and championship's going to be on the line, and blah, blah, blah. And I mean, come on. I don't care if you have Taz or not. I just do not see Brian Cage just winning that belt. I mean, he's good, but what personality does he have? What character does he have? The Taz is backing him up? I love Taz, but it's not enough. Outside, we see the Murder Hawk. And you know how the Murder Hawk, Lance Archer, when he comes out, he attacks people? Well, he's outside doing a promo at like a construction site. Do you think that he just cut a promo, you know, or got interviewed here? I think it was Alex Marvez, maybe. You think he did that? Or do you think that there was a random jobber wrestler there that he threw into a barricade before he cut his promo, because that's what he does? Well, he threw a random wrestler dressed in wrestling gear into like this little construction zone area outside where they're doing their promo. This is supposedly funny, or interesting, or good. I can't figure out which one it is, because I don't see it. I don't see it. I saw it, but I don't see it. Okay. He says that everybody dies. That's essentially it. Next up we see Private Party. They're having their own private party at a bar. I guess that's the joke. And they're just hanging out. Then 1999, Matt Hardy comes out for whatever reason. And he says that the Private Party reminds Hardy of young Hardy Boys. And the Private Party, they inquire about potentially getting all three of these guys together, because they were big fans of the Hardy Boys back in the day. Have Private Party with Matt Hardy and maybe make it a Hardy Party. And Matt Hardy is like, haha, yeah, totally never heard that joke before. Never heard that said ever once in my life kind of thing. And he's just in a positive mood. He's positive mood Hardy for whatever reason. Then he leaves, walks down the hall, sees Sammy Guevara with his hit-me-up wagon mobile, whatever he's got his knee propped up on because he hurt himself. And Hardy continues his niceness and says, hey, we're cool, we don't have beef and all that. So, interesting, I suppose. I don't know why Matt Hardy's in such a good mood after all the beatdowns and the stadium stampedes and all of this, but Matt Hardy, for whatever reason here, June 3rd, 2020, is one happy Hardy. We get a Cody Rhodes recap on his promos here about AEW, about his promise that he's going to give to AEW and that TNT championship that he's going to defend every single week. Okay? Yeah. So he does that now. That's the recap. And there's a recap on Jericho and Tyson as well. There's a lot of recaps on this episode of Dynamite. I started feeling like I'm missing the matches. Where are the matches? Please bring them to us. Well, they do bring us a match. It's Colt Cabana versus Jericho. Jericho has the inner circle with him, although he did not need the inner circle. Or did he? Because within this match, Colt Cabana does a moonsault to the outside because I guess people have to show you how athletic they are, even if it doesn't really make any sense. He's a big, tall dude. He's not that young anymore. I just, it feel like everybody can do that move. It's just not that impressive. I couldn't do that move, and I dang sure couldn't do it that expertly. However, it feels overused, sort of like the cutter. Everybody hits the RKO diamond cutter, whatever, in every company besides WWE, and it's so overdone. This must be how people who were fans in the 70s and 80s felt about the DDT when the Attitude Era came out, and they were just like, what is happening? Why is literally everyone doing the DDT and everyone's kicking out of it? But this was a pretty good match. Jericho, he really didn't look like he was super into this match or wanted to be there. I don't know what was going on with him, but his body, his skin definitely looked like it did not want to be in the sun because he was burnt up. I have not been that burnt in years, maybe over a decade, but my goodness, it looked painful. Painful. So painful. Oh my goodness. Have you ever been sunburnt like that? Oh my gosh. Like where you can't put a shirt on and every time you move you're like, ugh. That's what he looked like. And when he was having this match, every time he hit the mat I was like, ooh, better not chop this boy because it looks like it's going to hurt him a lot. But he hits the Judas effect and it was not a good Judas effect. I don't know if he hit it like from the wrong side or angle or what, but it just didn't look as impactful as it normally does. Jericho wins this one. Then Jericho talks. He has his little gray sideburns going down the side. Hey, not everybody can just roll up to the barber shop or the beauty shop as it may be and get that hair done expertly. But he's got some age going on there. There's nothing wrong with that. I just noticed. I'm not hating, I'm just stating. So he's talking about Mike Tyson. He wants Mike Tyson. So I guess they're going to do something with Mike Tyson and Jericho in the future. I question whether that's necessary or needed in AEW. If that's really going to draw any interest. You're going to see articles about it. It might get on ESPN. Maybe that's a way to keep AEW in the news or talked about. I just don't really see it making a huge impact here in Dynamite. I mean, Mike Tyson's awesome, but at the end of the day, this man is training to fight again. And, I'm not even, I wouldn't call myself a boxing fan, but whenever he does have that, I am going to watch it because I think he's going to win. I don't care how old this man is. He is a machine. So Jericho, what I'm saying is, even with the Judas effect, doesn't stand a chance with Mike Tyson. But if you're going to go against Mike Tyson in a wrestling type encounter, I would definitely try that Judas effect. But no one is kicked out of the Judas effect that I recall. Most people have it anyways. I know that for a fact. Mike Tyson would be the one. So then Cassidy comes out, because why not? And Cassidy puts Jericho's hands in his belt loops to symbolize putting your hands into your pockets. Then Cassidy puts his hands in his pocket, and Jericho's just like, what am I doing here? And the Inner Circle come in, and Cassidy, being the expert hands in the pocket type man, rolls out of the ring to safety and is carried away by his best friends. See, when I was in school, if I put my hands in my pockets, the teachers, they would hit you in the balls and stuff, you know. It was a different time back when I grew up, apparently. So, yeah, you can't do stuff like that. You can't just put your hands in your pocket because somebody's going to done hit you in the balls. I don't know if you have that problem. I mean, if you don't have balls, you probably don't have that problem. However, but my point is, I did not become an expert at doing tasks with my hands in my pocket. I just have very little experience. And even to this day, if I'm standing around, my hands generally don't go in the pockets. I might cross them, I leave them to my side. I might be like, yeah, or I don't know, rocking out or something. But anyways, let's get back on topic, shall we? I think we shall. All right. So as he slips away, Britt Baker, she has a training video where she's pulling a 2.5 pound weight behind her. She's lifting weights with the 2.5 pounds. She's training to come back because her leg hurts, and I guess her arms have atrophied since then. There is a ton of comedy in AEW, and I think a lot of it has to do with just circumstance. You know, the fans aren't there. People are looking for some good entertainment where we can't go to concerts or movie theaters and stuff like that, and that sucks. So I think they try to ham it up more, and they try to make it more funny than they normally would, but it does feel like almost like a parody or just a straight comedy show, when it seems like almost nearly every segment is ridiculous or has a lot of comedy involved in it. Unless it's Cody. Cody's always serious. He's a mainstay. But we haven't gotten to him yet. We got Big Swole taking on Nyla Rose. This was an okay match. I really like Big Swole. I think after she gets all seasoned over time, she's going to be one heck of a talent. She tried very hard, but Nyla Rose, she was just too much. Nyla Rose came back, and she beat her. But Swole, she got it as a promo after this, even though she lost. And Britt Baker interrupts. Swole goes and grabs a chair. Swole swinging the chair. Britt rolls out of there and gets away. So they got you know, I could see them in the future clashing once Britt Baker gets that wheel recovered. Darby's interviewed by Tony Schiavone, and Darby is not cleared to wrestle, and he says life is one big joke, but he will get the last laugh. So was it generic? Was it pointless? Yes. Usually we see Darby do something a little more interesting or creative. This was neither. Tony Schiavone is now interviewing FTR in what I would consider the worst segment of the entire night. We have FTR. They debuted last week, and now we're going to hear them speak. And Tony asked the obvious question, what does FTR mean? And they stumble through some answers by saying, follow the rules, for the revolution. Basically, guys, it can mean whatever you want it to mean. Just for you. It doesn't have an actual... I mean, Are you freaking serious? It doesn't have an actual meaning. You have an acronym for your tag team name and it doesn't have a meaning. You spent all this time getting ready to debut here in AEW and you got no mission, you got no statement, you got an acronym that doesn't even mean anything? How am I supposed to care about you when you're just... It's like giving yourself a nickname where no one has ever called you that name. Just... No. I did not like that. But that really wasn't the worst part about it. That's the kind of stuff I can kind of roll my eyes at and be like, you know what, whatever. Your name's FTR. Okay, it's FTR. What bothered me about it really is their tone, their body language. They sounded confused and scared. They sounded like they were out of breath and unconfident and uncomfortable with what they were saying. It was bad. Then Tony Schiavone is like, well, I thought it meant F the Revival, but they bleeped it out. And for whatever reason, this loud beeping was heard even inside the building because, boom, here comes Butcher and Blade, and they're coming for that ass whooping. But just like clockwork, just like how Butcher and Blade had appeared just on cue, here come everyone to break it up. We even saw the referee Rick Knox wearing some jeans from 1998, which was just horrifying. I don't know how he still had those jeans, but I noticed that. So they broke it up. So, you know, these FTR and Butcher and Blade, I'm sure that's going to be one of the first matches that they have. But that's fine. I don't have a problem with that, so they can lead up to the Young Bucks or whatever. That's cool. They're going to be a good tag team. But the point is, this promo was weak, and they should have re-recorded it or tried something else. I like the setting, I like the idea, but they just seemed like they had not even considered the idea that they would be interviewed, period. So I don't know what's up with that. Maybe their jeans are too tight. Now we have Colt Cabana being interviewed backstage, and Mr. Brody Lee shows up for some inspiration. His little dude with him, whatever his name is, gives him a water bottle, the guy in all the video packages back in the day being like, join the Dark Order. They give him a water bottle, and Colt Cabana, he doesn't deny the water bottle. He drinks out of it, and you can tell the wheels are turning and he's considering because he's upset at himself for losing. I mean, come on, dude. You lost to Jericho. He's one of the GOATs, man. You lost to Jericho. It's not the end of the world. I mean, you're never going to be as big as Jericho, so getting beat by Jericho shouldn't be that big of an insult. Now we have our main event. It is Jungle Boy with Stunt taking on Cody Rhodes. It is for the TNT Championship, the first defense, and Cody is the champion. Now, of course, this is a good showing for Jungle Boy and for Cody. Cody's always serious. Cody's always going to put on a good match, and Jungle Jack Perry is always getting that shine on him because they believe in him, even though he's young and, you know, he's kind of thin, but he's going to be a star. They do believe, so they're doing it for him. Cody Rhodes gets thrown into a flat wall, and after MJF and Jungle Boy argue for an obnoxious amount of time, Cody Rhodes has been busted wide open on this flat wall. Okay, that's what they did. Then we see a table on the outside. Usually you put the championship on the timekeeper's table with the bell. I mean, that's what you always do, but for whatever reason, they had this catty-wampus table set up with the tiny TNT Championship awkwardly placed on there. These men are fighting up on the top turnbuckle. I wonder what's going to happen. Oh no, they all fell back through it. Cody Rhodes, Jungle Boy get back in the ring, and after a crossroads, of course, Cody Rhodes retains his TNT Championship, but Jungle Boy looked pretty good in the process. Cody Rhodes still is your champion, and the locker room comes out because Cody Rhodes is kind of, he's kind of proud of Jungle Boy and his effort. And Brandy, of course, makes sure that she gets on television. She's always going to find a way. You can bet, if you're going to bet on anything in AEW, you can bet that Brandy Rhodes will get on television, whether she's a manager, she's in a segment, she's starting a new faction, she's in another faction, she just for some reason is back in that other faction that she wasn't in and she left or whatever. She's going to be on there, so you're going to get your shot of Brandy no matter what happens. At the end of the night, Cody Rhodes is still the TNT champion, and he will be defending it every single week. So where does he go from here? What is he going to do? Cody Rhodes, a good way to end the night in a very good match that they had a good main event. Hey, that was AEW, and I will catch you guys next time.